So, a typical day in the life of Marky before I had kids looked like this: getting up, having some great time with God, either in worship or reading His Word, and then heading off to work where I got to do some nursing with people that I just absolutely loved. And then I got to come home and dive into something else that I was passionate about, which is ministry. Ryan and I were youth pastors at the time, and I was mentoring several girls. I was teaching on Sunday mornings every once in a while. I was teaching Bible studies, and I loved that. And then God just really put a burden on my heart to have kids. And so 3 kids later, a day in the life of Marky looks like getting 3 little ones dressed and making sure that they've drank enough and picking the Cheerios up off the floor and making sure that they had breakfast, lunch, and dinner and 2 snacks in between. And then of course getting them in the car without fighting and that they all have shoes on. I have done that, taken them somewhere and ended up with no shoes on one of them. But that is a typical day in my life now. And sometimes I can compare the two. And I can look back at what I had and the things that I was doing and the things that I'm not doing now. And I can get a little frustrated that I'm not using my gifts in the way that I was, and the fact that I'm not mentoring as many people, and I just feel like I'm not making an impact in the way that I was. And then God reminds me with subtle reminders, like my daughter comes in singing a worship song, and my other daughter writing me a note when I was sick and telling me how much she loves me and how much I make a difference in her life. And those are the subtle reminders that everything is a season. You know, this right now is my season to raise 3 godly young women. This season won't be forever. The other seasons weren't forever. And I need to remember that God is using me in this season in a different way, in a different capacity. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm not doing ministry outside of my home. It doesn't mean that I'm not being used in my home and out of my home. It just looks different. I'm getting to still mentor women in different ways. I'm still getting to influence people at my work. I'm still getting to make a difference in people's lives. Just now, the focus is different. The focus is now influencing 3 little girls first before I go outside of my home. And I just have to remember that this season is going to morph into look like something different in the next season. And I need to grow right where God has me. God has me now focusing on the home and providing for these 3 little girls and my husband in a different way. And I'm learning how to be content in that. I'm learning how to count it all joy no matter what season of life I'm in. And I'm learning how to let God grow me through these circumstances, not desiring something, maybe looking forward to something that God can do, but right now focusing where I am, learning contentment where I am right now, so that God can prepare me for what He has prepared for me next season. So I just hope, I don't know if you can relate to this, and if you can, I just hope that I'm encouraging you that God has you right where He wants you. It is frustrating, it is hard. Sometimes you don't see the impact that you're making in your kids' life or outside of your kids, outside of your home, but you are. And I pray that you open up your eyes, open up your heart to allow God to bring in contentment and joy, and to open up your eyes to see what difference you are making inside and outside of your home. You don't have to bog yourself down with thousands of things. You don't have to overcommit. You know, put your family first, dive into them, and then just allow God to open up small areas of your life where you can influence and still make a difference, because He is using you, and He is going to impact everyone that comes into contact with you if you allow Him to.